Grandpa Henry had always been proud of his 1932 Bugatti Atlantic. It was not just any car. It was shiny and blue, with curves that seemed to dance in the sunlight. Every time Henry looked at it, he remembered the day he first bought it. He had been young and full of dreams, and the car had been a symbol of freedom. He remembered the smooth hum of its engine, the way the leather seats felt under his hands, and how the wind brushed his face as he drove down quiet country roads. The car was more than just a machine. It held memories of Henry's youth, of late-night drives with his friends, and quiet afternoons when he would sit by the lake, the Bugatti parked beside him, watching the water sparkle in the sun. Over the years, the car had been in many places with Henry. It had been to festivals, shows, and even long trips across the country. Every scratch, every mark, told a story. Now, Henry was old. His hair had turned white, and his hands shook more than they used to. Climbing into the car was no longer easy. His legs ached, and sometimes he felt tired even after a short walk. He still loved the Bugatti, but he knew that it was time for someone else to enjoy it. Henry's house reflected his life. Every corner had memories. Shelves were filled with small treasures, photographs of family and friends, letters he had written and received, old clocks, and small objects that reminded him of different times. The garage, where the Bugatti sat, was like a museum of his younger days. The car was covered in a soft cloth to protect it from dust. Every now and then, Henry would walk into the garage, lift the cover, and gently touch the car, remembering old stories. One morning, Henry's grandson Liam came to visit. Liam loved cars. He was full of energy and curiosity, always asking questions and wanting to know about every detail. He had heard stories about the Bugatti since he was a child, but he had never seen it close enough to touch. "Grandpa, why don't you sell it?" Liam asked as he stared at the car. "You could get a fortune. People would pay millions for this car." Henry smiled gently. "I don't need a fortune, Liam. The car has been with me for many years. It has given me joy, memories, and lessons. But I think it is time for someone else to enjoy it." Liam's eyes widened. "Time to sell? But Grandpa, that car is priceless. It is one of the rarest cars in the world. You can't just sell it for money." Henry nodded slowly. "Sometimes, Liam, life is not about money. Some things are about memories, about sharing joy, about letting go when the time is right. This car has been part of my life for a long time. It has made me happy, but I am old now. I cannot take care of it the way I used to, and someone else can." Liam was quiet for a moment. He did not understand at first. How could someone let go of something so valuable? But then he saw the gentle smile on his grandfather's face, the calm in his eyes. He realized that Henry was serious. A few days later, Henry made a decision. He called a local garage sale group and listed the car for $999. Liam almost dropped his phone when he read the listing. "Grandpa, $999? Are you joking?" Liam asked, his voice full of surprise. "That car could be worth millions." "Millions?" Henry chuckled softly. "Some things in life are worth more than money, Liam. This car has given me happiness, and now I want it to give happiness to someone else. The money is not important." Word spread quickly. People could not believe it. A rare 1932 Bugatti Atlantic for just $999? Many were curious, others were suspicious. Why would someone sell a car like that for such a low price? The day of the sale arrived. Henry parked the car outside his house. The morning sun reflected off its blue paint, making it shine. A small crowd gathered, whispering and pointing. Some took pictures, others laughed nervously. A few shook their heads, unable to believe the price. Henry stood quietly, watching the people. He did not care about the murmurs or the surprised faces. What mattered was finding the right person, someone who would love the car, respect it, and enjoy it the way he had. Among the crowd was a young woman named Emma. She had always admired classic cars, but she had never seen anything like the Bugatti. She walked slowly toward the car, her eyes wide, and her hand reached out to touch the smooth leather seat. "This is incredible," she whispered. "I have never seen a car like this. Are you really selling it?" Henry nodded. "Yes, I am. But only if it finds the right home." Emma smiled. She did not care about the low price or the millions it could be worth. She only saw the beauty, the history, and the care that had been put into it. She could tell that this car was special, and she felt a connection to it immediately. Henry looked at Emma and felt a warmth inside. Maybe she was the person he had been waiting for. He had seen many people today, but none of them had looked at the car the way Emma did. She was not just curious or greedy. She appreciated its history, its story, and its beauty. "Would you like to take it home?" Henry asked gently. Emma nodded slowly. "Yes, I would love to. I promise to take good care of it." Henry smiled, feeling a sense of peace. He knew that the car would be in good hands. He had made the right choice. Sometimes, letting go was not about losing something. It was about sharing it with someone who would continue the story. As the day went on, more people came to see the car, but Henry and Emma stood together, talking about the history of the Bugatti. Emma listened with fascination as Henry told stories of his youth, of the places the car had been, and the adventures they had shared. Liam watched quietly, amazed at his grandfather's decision and the way Emma understood the car. By the end of the day, the car had a new owner, and Henry felt a sense of relief. He knew that the Bugatti would continue to bring joy, just as it had brought him joy for so many years. And Liam finally understood that some things in life were not about money, but about memories, love, and the happiness that comes from sharing something special with the right person. After Emma agreed to take the Bugatti Atlantic, Grandpa Henry felt a strange mix of relief and curiosity. He had let go of the car, but he also wondered what the future would bring for it. Liam was still standing nearby, looking amazed and confused. "Grandpa," Liam said, shaking his head, "I still don't understand. Why would you sell such a rare car for just $999? This is not normal. People would fight for it if they knew the truth." Henry smiled. "Life is not always about what others think, Liam. The car has been part of my life for a long time. It has seen my happiness, my sadness, and my adventures. But the real reason I am selling it is not money. It is something much deeper." Liam leaned closer. "What do you mean, Grandpa?" Henry took a deep breath. "Every car has a story, but some stories are hidden. This Bugatti has a secret. Something that very few people know. It is not about how much it is worth, but about what it contains. And I want it to go to someone who can appreciate that story without greed or selfishness." Emma listened carefully. Her eyes widened. She had never heard anything like this before. "A secret? What kind of secret?" she asked softly. Henry shook his head gently. "Not yet. The time will come for you to know. But first, you must understand that some things in life are meant to be shared, not sold for money. The value of this car is in the memories, the experiences, and the joy it brings to the right person." Emma nodded slowly. She could feel the sincerity in Henry's words. She knew that he was not joking or trying to trick anyone. He truly wanted the car to have a meaningful life beyond his own. After the sale was complete, Henry invited Emma and Liam into his house. He wanted to show them the history of the car, the letters, and the old photographs that documented its life. The house smelled of old wood and polished leather. Every item in the room seemed to tell a story, just like the car. Henry led them to a small wooden chest. Inside were photographs of the Bugatti at different times in his life. One photo showed Henry as a young man, leaning against the car with a big smile. Another photo showed him at a festival, proudly displaying the car to a crowd of excited people. There were letters from friends, notes about repairs, and even postcards from places he had visited with the car. "Look at these," Henry said. "Every mark, every scratch on the car has a story. Every journey we took together taught me something about life." Emma carefully picked up a photograph. "This is amazing, Grandpa. You really loved this car. I can see why it means so much to you." Henry nodded. "Yes, I did. And I still do. But the car has more than just memories. It has a connection to something bigger. Something I discovered many years ago, but I never used for selfish reasons. It has always been a part of my life quietly, waiting for the right person to continue its journey." Liam's eyes grew wide. "Are you saying the car has something special inside it?" Henry smiled. "Yes. But it is not about money or fame. It is about trust, care, and understanding. That is why I set the price at $999. I needed to make sure that the person who takes it understands its value beyond money. Many would have taken it for greed. Many would have tried to sell it again for millions. But you, Emma, seem to understand what I mean." Emma felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. She had never expected this. The car was beautiful, rare, and valuable, but she now realized that it was also mysterious. She wanted to honor Henry's trust. Henry continued, "The secret of the car is in a small compartment. It is hidden, and only someone who respects it can find it. Many people might never notice it, but the right person will see it naturally, with care and patience." Emma looked at the car outside, parked in the sunlight. She felt a strong connection, as if the car itself was calling her to understand it. She promised herself that she would respect the trust Henry had given her. Over the next few days, Emma spent time learning about the Bugatti. She cleaned it carefully, polished its leather seats, and studied the engine. Liam often helped, asking questions and taking notes. Henry watched them with satisfaction. He knew that he had made the right choice. One afternoon, Emma noticed a small button hidden under the dashboard. She remembered Henry's words about the secret compartment. Her heart raced as she pressed the button. A small hidden drawer opened. Inside was a leather-bound journal. Emma carefully picked it up. The journal had Henry's handwriting, neat and precise, with dates and stories from long ago. Emma and Liam returned to Henry with the journal. "Grandpa, is this the secret?" Emma asked. Henry nodded. "Yes. That journal holds stories of the car, the places it has been, and the lessons I learned along the way. It is not just about the car. It is about life, love, friendship, and the choices we make. I never shared it with anyone because not everyone would understand." Emma opened the journal and began reading. She was amazed. Each page was filled with adventures, small discoveries, and reflections. She realized that the Bugatti was not just a car. It was a companion, a teacher, and a friend. Henry smiled as he watched her read. He felt a sense of peace. The car had finally found someone who would honor its history and continue its journey with care and respect. That evening, Henry, Emma, and Liam sat in the living room, talking about the stories in the journal. They laughed at the funny moments, felt suspense at the adventures, and reflected on the lessons Henry had written. The car outside was no longer just a machine, it was a bridge between generations, connecting the past with the present. Henry realized that selling the car for $999 was not about the price. It was about finding the right person, someone who would value its story above all else. And now, with Emma, he knew that the car would continue to inspire, teach, and bring joy for many years to come. As the sun set, Henry looked out at the Bugatti Atlantic, shining in the fading light. He knew that letting go had been the right choice. The car was no longer just his memory, it was now part of someone else's life, carrying the past while moving toward the future. And deep inside, Henry felt a quiet happiness. He had shared something precious, not for money, but for love, trust, and the joy of seeing a new story begin. The morning after Henry had given Emma the Bugatti Atlantic and the secret journal, she could not stop thinking about it. She had spent hours reading the journal the previous night. Every page told stories of Henry's life, the car, and adventures she could hardly imagine. But one entry caught her attention more than any other. Henry had written about a hidden compartment in the car. According to the journal, It contained something very old and very important. Emma had seen the small drawer under the dashboard, but the journal hinted at a second, deeper secret. This was not just a simple hidden space. It was something that could change the way she understood the car's history. Emma decided that today she would explore the Bugatti more carefully. Liam offered to help, his curiosity matching hers. Grandpa said only the right person would find it, Emma said as they walked to the garage. I think we might be ready. Liam smiled. Let's look everywhere. Carefully. Nothing gets missed. The Bugatti gleamed in the sunlight. Its blue paint reflected the morning light, and the leather seats looked as soft and smooth as when Henry had first bought the car. Emma ran her fingers along the dashboard, pressing buttons and checking small panels. She examined the floor, the glove box, the spaces under the seats, and every part of the car she could reach. Liam crouched beside the engine and inspected the mechanical compartments. Hours passed, and Emma began to feel frustrated. Nothing seemed unusual except the small drawer they had already found. She opened it again, looking at the leather-bound journal and a few old papers. The journal contained instructions, notes, and drawings of parts of the car, but nothing that revealed a new secret. Emma sighed. Maybe the journal is just stories. Maybe there is nothing more. Liam put a reassuring hand on her shoulder. Remember what Grandpa said. The right person will see it naturally. We just have to be patient. Emma nodded. She decided to step back and look at the car differently. Instead of searching randomly, she would try to understand it the way Henry did. She remembered the pages of the journal where Henry had written about how he discovered small details by noticing the way the car moved, the sounds it made, and the subtle shapes in its design. Slowly, Emma sat in the driver's seat. She pressed the pedals lightly and listened to the engine's hum. She ran her hands along the steering wheel and felt for unusual shapes or buttons. Her eyes scanned the dashboard carefully. Then she noticed a small seam, almost invisible, near the center console. It was not marked in the journal. Emma's heart raced. Could this be it? She pressed gently along the seam. A small panel popped open, revealing a narrow compartment inside. Inside, there was a small, polished wooden box. Emma lifted it carefully. The box was heavier than she expected. She opened it slowly, and inside she found a delicate gold locket and a folded piece of parchment. Emma's hands trembled. She looked at Liam. Look at this. Grandpa never mentioned it in the journal. I think this is the real secret. Liam peered inside the box. Wow, that's beautiful. I wonder what's written on the parchment. Emma unfolded the paper carefully. It was yellowed with age, and the handwriting was elegant, neat, and precise. The letter was addressed to Henry, although it seemed to have been written many years before he had even owned the car. It spoke of a family treasure, a locket that had been passed down through generations, and a promise to protect it. The letter explained that the car had been chosen as a secret safe because it was rare, strong, and would remain in trustworthy hands. Emma gasped. This is incredible. The Bugatti wasn't just a car. It was also a safe for this locket. And Grandpa trusted me to find it. Liam looked at her in awe. You really are the right person. Grandpa must have known we would discover it eventually. Emma held the locket carefully. It was small but heavy, with intricate designs and a tiny picture inside. She could feel its importance. It was more than a piece of jewelry. It was a connection to the past, to history, and to the life Henry had lived. Later that day, Emma returned to Henry's house with the locket and the parchment. Henry's eyes lit up when he saw them. He did not look surprised. Instead, he smiled gently. You found it, he said. I knew you would. You have the patience, respect, and care that this treasure deserves. Many people would have missed it, but you saw it naturally, just as the car wanted you to. Emma handed him the parchment. I think I understand now. The car is more than a car. It is part of a family story. It was meant to protect something valuable, and it trusted me to find it. Henry nodded. Yes, Emma. The car has always been more than metal and paint. It has memories, it has history, and it has responsibilities. That is why I sold it for $999. The price was never the point. The right person had to find it, someone who would understand its value in a deeper way. Emma looked at him with admiration. Grandpa, I promise to take care of the car and the locket. I will protect their stories and share them when the time is right. Henry smiled, feeling a quiet pride. He knew the car and the locket were in safe hands. It was a relief to know that the secret he had guarded for so long would now continue to live through Emma. Over the next few days, Emma learned more about the Bugatti. She read every page of the journal again, studied every detail of the car, and kept the locket in a safe place inside the house. Liam helped her with mechanical parts and historical details. Together, they discovered small clues that Henry had hidden in the car and in the journal, each teaching lessons about patience, observation, and care. One afternoon, Emma took the Bugatti for a gentle drive. She had not driven such a car before, but she felt confident. The engine purred beneath her, and the car moved smoothly along quiet roads. She felt connected not only to the car but also to the history it carried. The locket rested safely in her pocket, a reminder of the trust Grandpa Henry had given her. As the sun set, Emma returned home. She parked the car carefully and stepped out. Liam looked at her with excitement. This is amazing, Emma. The car, the journal, the locket, it's like we are part of something magical. Emma smiled. It is magical, Liam. But it is also about trust, respect, and understanding. Grandpa knew what he was doing. He trusted me with something priceless, and I want to honor that trust. Henry, sitting in his favorite chair, watched them from the window. He felt calm and happy. The Bugatti Atlantic, the journal, and the hidden locket were no longer just memories of his own life. They were alive again, part of a new story, carried forward by someone who understood their true value. That night, Emma placed the locket next to the journal. She realized that the Bugatti Atlantic was more than a car, more than a treasure. It was a teacher, a guide, and a friend. It had taught patience, care, and the importance of seeing beyond the surface. And she knew that this was only the beginning of a new adventure, one that would continue to unfold with every careful drive, every story remembered, and every lesson learned from the past. The next morning, Emma woke up early, filled with excitement and curiosity. She wanted to learn more about the locket she had found in the Bugatti Atlantic. She had spent the previous day reading the journal and exploring the car, but now she felt that the real story of the locket was calling her. Liam joined her, equally eager to uncover the mystery. Do you think there is more to this locket than what Grandpa told us? Liam asked as they walked toward the garage. Emma nodded. I think so. Grandpa said the car has a story that only the right person would understand. I believe the locket is part of that story, and it might reveal more about the past. The garage smelled faintly of oil and old leather. The Bugatti Atlantic sat in the sunlight, its blue paint shining. Emma carefully opened the driver's door and held the locket in her hand. She noticed a small engraving on the back of the locket, something she had not seen before. It looked like initials intertwined in a delicate pattern. She studied them closely. Look at this, Liam, she said. These initials must mean something. Maybe they are connected to the first owner of the locket, or someone who hid it for a reason. Liam leaned closer. Do you think the locket belonged to a family long before Grandpa bought the car? Emma nodded. It seems likely. Grandpa's journal said that the locket was part of a family treasure, and the Bugatti was chosen to protect it. That means the locket has traveled through many hands before reaching him. Now it is our responsibility to understand it. Emma and Liam decided to examine the locket carefully. She opened it and found a tiny picture inside. It was a woman's portrait, painted in delicate colors. Her expression was calm but serious, as if she held an important secret. Emma felt a shiver run down her spine. The woman's eyes seemed almost alive, staring directly at her. This is incredible, Liam said. The locket has been hidden for so long, and now we can see this painting. I wonder who she is. Emma carefully closed the locket and held it close. I think we need to learn about her. Maybe Grandpa left clues in the journal that can tell us her story. We should read the journal again, carefully, line by line. For the next several hours, Emma and Liam studied the journal together. They discovered old letters, dates, and small sketches of the car and other objects. One entry mentioned a woman named Clara, described as clever, kind, and brave. She had been part of the family who originally owned the locket. According to the journal, Clara had hidden the locket in the car to protect it from thieves during difficult times. Emma's eyes widened. Clara must be the woman in the painting. She hid the locket so it would be safe, and now we found it. Grandpa trusted us to continue protecting it. Liam nodded. It is amazing how the Bugatti Atlantic was not just a car but also a safe for the locket. Clara must have been very smart to think of that. And Grandpa understood it too. Emma felt a deep sense of connection. She held the locket in her hands and imagined Clara, long ago, carefully placing it in the car. She thought of Grandpa Henry, who had discovered its secret and trusted her to find it. It felt as if time had connected them all, across generations, through this small, precious object. Later that afternoon, Emma decided to take the Bugatti for another drive. This time, she wanted to feel what Henry had felt many years ago. She placed the locket safely in her pocket and started the engine. The car purred beneath her hands, smooth and strong. The leather seats were soft, and the steering wheel felt solid and familiar. As she drove along quiet roads, she imagined Clara, Henry, and all the people who had cared for the car and the locket over the years. Suddenly, Emma noticed a small envelope tucked behind the dashboard, almost invisible. She remembered that Henry had said the car contained secrets. Carefully, she pulled the envelope out and opened it. Inside was a note written in beautiful, flowing handwriting. It read, "To the one who finds this treasure. You are now part of a story that began long ago. The locket holds memories of courage, kindness, and love. Protect it well, and it will guide you. One day you will understand why this journey matters. Treat it with care, and it will reveal more secrets when the time is right." Emma's heart raced. "Liam, look at this. There is more to the locket. It is not just a piece of jewelry. It is a guide, a key to a story that continues." Liam's eyes were wide. Wow, Grandpa really trusted us. He knew we would find it and understand. Emma nodded. "Yes. And I feel like Clara's story is part of our story now. We have to be careful and patient. The journal, the locket, the envelope, they all have lessons we need to learn." Over the next few days, Emma studied the car and the journal even more closely. She discovered small hidden compartments that contained tiny objects, a key, a small map, and more letters from Clara. Each object revealed pieces of history, showing how the locket had been protected through generations. She realized that the Bugatti Atlantic had been chosen as a guardian not because it was valuable, but because it was strong, rare, and trusted by those who loved it. Liam helped Emma organize the discoveries. Together, they made a timeline of the locket's journey. Clara had hidden it first, then it passed through the family, eventually reaching Grandpa Henry, and now Emma. Each generation had cared for it, understood it, and respected its importance. Emma felt proud to be part of this chain of trust. One evening, Emma returned home with the locket and the journal. She placed them on the table and looked at Henry, who was sitting quietly in his chair. "Grandpa," she said, "I think I understand now. The car, the locket, and the journal are all connected. They are teaching us about trust, history, and responsibility. It is not just about the car or the treasure. It is about learning and sharing stories from the past." Henry smiled warmly. "Yes, Emma. You have understood the true meaning. The value is not in the object itself, but in how it is cared for and the lessons it teaches. You are the right person to continue this story. And one day, the locket and the car will reveal even more when the time is right." Emma felt a deep sense of purpose. She held the locket close and promised herself to protect it, just as Clara and Grandpa Henry had done. She knew that the story was far from over. There were more lessons to learn, more history to uncover, and more adventures to experience with the Bugatti Atlantic. That night, Emma placed the locket beside the journal and the envelope. She looked at the car parked outside, shining softly in the moonlight. The Bugatti was no longer just a vehicle. It was a guardian of stories, a keeper of secrets, and a guide for those who were willing to learn. Emma knew that this was only the beginning of a remarkable journey, one that would connect the past, the present, and the future in ways she could not yet imagine. And as she drifted off to sleep, she felt a quiet excitement. The locket, the journal, and the Bugatti had chosen her for a reason. She was part of a story that had begun long ago, and now it was her turn to continue it, with care, patience, and courage. The morning sun shone through the windows as Emma carefully prepared for another day with the Bugatti Atlantic. She had spent the last few days uncovering Clara's story, reading the journal, and examining the locket and letters. Yet, something deep inside her told her that the greatest part of the story was still ahead. Today, she would follow the map she had found in one of the hidden compartments. Liam stood by her side, his eyes wide with excitement. "Emma, do you really think this map will lead us to something important?" Emma nodded. "I do. Grandpa Henry trusted me with the locket and the journal. The map must be another part of the secret." Clara left clues for the person who could understand the car, the locket, and the story. "Today, we find the next step." They carefully placed the locket in Emma's pocket and set off in the Bugatti. The car moved smoothly along the country road, the engine humming quietly. As they followed the directions on the map, Emma could feel the weight of history around them. Every curve in the road, every hill, and every old tree seemed to hold a memory from the past. After a while, the road led them to an old barn hidden behind tall grass. The building looked abandoned, but the map showed it was the correct location. Emma parked the Bugatti carefully outside. The barn's wooden door creaked as they pushed it open, and a warm smell of hay and old wood filled the air. Inside, they found a small chest covered in dust. Emma's heart raced. Could this be what Clara had hidden so many years ago? She gently lifted the lid. Inside, they discovered a collection of letters, photographs, and small objects that had belonged to Clara's family. Each item told a story of courage, love, and careful planning to protect the locket through difficult times. Emma picked up a letter, addressed to the future finder of the locket. It read, "To the one who finds this treasure, you have shown patience, care, and understanding. These qualities are more valuable than gold. The locket, the car, and this chest are not just objects. They are symbols of trust and history. Keep them safe, and share their stories with those who are worthy. The true treasure is the lessons learned, the memories preserved, and the connections made across generations." Emma looked at Liam with wide eyes. "This is incredible. The treasure is not just the locket or the car. It is the story, the history, and the lessons." Clara wanted someone who could understand this, not someone who wanted money or fame. Liam smiled. "Grandpa Henry knew we would find it. That is why he trusted you with the Bugatti. He knew your heart would understand." Emma carefully placed the letters and photographs in a safe bag. She wanted to protect them as carefully as Clara had protected the locket. She felt a deep connection to the past and realized that she was now part of this long chain of trust and care. They returned home with the treasures, and Henry was waiting for them in the living room. He smiled when he saw the chest and the letters. "I knew you would find it, Emma. You have proven yourself worthy. The Bugatti Atlantic, the locket, and now these letters all belong to someone who respects their true value." Emma placed the chest on the table. "Grandpa, I understand now. The car, the locket, and the journal are not just valuable objects. They are lessons, stories, and connections. They show the importance of trust, care, and patience." Henry nodded. "Yes. Many people would have sold the car for millions, taken the locket for greed, and ignored the history behind them. But you have chosen a different path. You have honored the story, and that is the real treasure." Over the next few weeks, Emma continued to explore the Bugatti, the locket, and the letters. She learned more about Clara, her family, and the challenges they faced to keep the locket safe. She realized that each generation had made choices based on trust and understanding, and now it was her turn. One evening, Emma took the Bugatti for a quiet drive. The sun was setting, and the sky was painted in orange and pink. She felt connected to Clara, Henry, and everyone who had cared for the locket before her. The car moved smoothly along the winding road, as if it was guiding her through the past and the present at the same time. Liam sat beside her, holding the journal. "Emma, I think this is more than a car ride. It is like we are traveling through history itself. Every turn tells a story." Emma smiled. "Yes, Liam. The Bugatti is not just a car. It is a teacher. Every scratch, every mark, and every compartment tells us something about life, choices, and trust. And now we get to continue the story." When they returned home, Henry greeted them with a warm smile. "I have watched this story unfold, and I could not be prouder. The car, the locket, and the letters are now in the right hands. You have learned the most important lesson. Value is not in wealth or possession, but in care, understanding, and respect." Emma looked at Henry, feeling grateful. "Grandpa, thank you for trusting me. I understand now why you sold the car for $999. The price was never the point. It was about finding someone who could see the true value." Henry's eyes twinkled. "Exactly. And now the story continues with you. One day, when you are ready, you will pass these lessons to someone else, just as Clara and I have done. That is the real treasure." In the following days, Emma began organizing the journal, letters, and photographs. She decided to keep them together in a safe place, but also to share the stories with her family. She wanted everyone to understand the history of the Bugatti Atlantic and the locket, and the lessons of patience, trust, and care. Liam helped her set up a small display of the car's history in the garage. They included photographs, sketches from the journal, and small objects from Clara's family. Friends and neighbors who visited were amazed. They learned that the Bugatti was more than just a rare car. It was a guardian of stories and a teacher of values. One afternoon, as Emma polished the Bugatti, she noticed a small envelope tucked under the seat. Inside was a note from Grandpa Henry, written in his familiar handwriting. "Emma, you have shown that you understand the true value of what is precious. The car, the locket, and the letters are safe because of your care. Remember, the greatest treasures in life are not objects, but the lessons they teach and the memories they preserve. Trust yourself, follow your heart, and continue the story." Emma smiled, feeling a warm sense of pride and responsibility. She carefully placed the note beside the journal and the locket. She understood that her adventure was far from over. The Bugatti Atlantic, the locket, and the history it carried would continue to guide her. That evening, Grandpa Henry sat in his chair, watching Emma and Liam work. He felt a quiet happiness. The car had finally found someone who could understand it, respect its history, and carry its story forward. He knew that letting go had been the right choice. Emma looked at the Bugatti, the locket, and the journal with a sense of wonder. She had discovered the hidden treasures, understood the history, and learned the most important lesson. True value is not measured in money, but in love, trust, and care. And as the sun set behind the hills, Emma knew that this was only the beginning of a remarkable journey. The Bugatti Atlantic, the locket, and the stories would continue to inspire her and those who followed, teaching the lessons of the past and guiding the adventures of the future.